Zri, your video about bronies was flawed.
Don't make such a big deal about it. I have more important things to worry about, like the political issues surrounding my country.
You must explain yourself to the bronies. They're angry.
Derpy, do you really think I care?
A 20-year-old made a video criticizing your video about bronies.
Oh, well, if he's 20 years old, he must have had some good insight and well-articulated criticism. I'm sure he was mature in his critiques considering the fact that he's an adult and I'm a child. I guess I'll just have to check it out.
You disingenuous, dense motherfucker!
Guys, I think he's jealous of my pony collection. Hey guys, it's me Zri. Before I start talking about anything, I just wanted to say that my silver play button has finally arrived. I didn't really think that it would be entertaining if I made a whole separate video unboxing it, so if you want to see my reaction to opening it, I did post it on my Patreon, link in the description. I just wanted to thank you guys. So thank you! Hello, it's me, Future Zri. I have something really important to say before I start this video. Basically, this video is a response to a very hateful video that was made about me by the YouTuber Chrispy. But on the 20th of January, someone reposted this video onto the subreddit r/cringe. So this video started getting a lot of hate. At that point, I had already wrote a whole script and filmed my video and was ready to edit it. But then that video got taken down. I was obviously disappointed because I wanted to make a response. So I messaged Chrispy and I asked them to re-upload the video or just send it to me so that I could make a response. And they actually agreed to re-upload it, but they didn't have the video saved, so they just decided to re-edit it. So it's not exactly the same as it was when they originally posted it, but it's up and you can go watch it. They also apologized to me for the very mean things that they said about me in the video. And I also found out that they go by they, them pronouns, but in my initial response, I was using he, him pronouns, which I want to apologize for. But basically, I just wanted to say that they already apologized to me and everything is okay, but here's my original response nonetheless. So a while back, I made a video titled Bronies Ruined My Childhood, and I made it because I was reminded of watching gory and sexual content surrounding My Little Pony when I was a small child, and I wanted to talk about it because I found it strange how My Little Pony managed to get so much adult content made around it. I also wanted other kids my age to reminisce about their experiences with encountering this type of inappropriate content. The response to this video was rather mixed because there was a large number of kids my age who did end up relating to me, and they also shared their experiences with this type of content. But there was also a huge number of bronies who found my video to be very offensive because it seemed like I was attacking their community. Upon rewatching my video, I realized it was rather flawed because I really didn't take it all that seriously, in all fairness. It ended up looking like I was just villainizing all bronies and making their community look like a bunch of creeps who enjoy showing little girls scary and inappropriate content, but in reality that was never my opinion. I simply just wanted to make a funny, relatable video about how weird this type of content was and how a whole generation of kids just grew up on that stuff. But my video didn't really make that clear, and it just seemed like I was trying to attack bronies and like I was trying to inform my viewers about how dangerous this community was. This was partly because I was feeling lazy and I just wanted to make a fun and not that serious video, because the video that I worked on before that video was literally titled "We Are Watching These YouTubers Kill Themselves," and it was talking about serious eating disorders. So when I kept getting TikToks about teens sharing their experiences with watching these scary pony videos as children, I thought it would be a fun premise to talk about, because I'm now old enough to realize just how messed up this content really was. But I definitely should have actually put more effort into this video because many bronies did feel insulted, and so this created a quite negative response from them. And in this video, I wanted to react to a wonderful video made by one of these bronies, and hopefully in reacting to it, I can clear up some of the statements that were flawed in my video. Also, I would like to mention how ironic it is that out of all of my videos, the one about ponies was the most controversial. So very recently, a cool kid sent me this video made by Chrispy, who is very obviously a brony. Like, he's what I imagine a brony to look like. I would also like to give a shout out to the person who sent me this video because they very kindly offered to design the thumbnail for this video, and they're currently selling some of their designs, so if you want to buy a design from them, here is their social media. But anyways, Chrispy was one of the bronies that felt really insulted by my video. So insulted that he felt the need to make a whole 15-minute video about it. And it honestly made me really happy because it was the first time anyone has made a video about me, and so I felt like I was a real YouTuber. Like, I'm a big boy now, you know? And this video, it brought me way too much joy than it probably should have brought me. I was in a dark place because of the political issues and the COVID outbreaks and all of the mess that's going on in my country. And then when I saw this video, I swear to God, I have never laughed more in my life. And you'll see why. But before I show you why, don't attack this guy. Oh my God, I'm a rhyming genius. I know he says some mean things about me in the video, but I really don't need you guys to defend me because he's a small YouTuber. I mean, he doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. And attacking him is just gonna spread unnecessary negativity. And I don't really want my fan base to represent that. You guys are called the cool kids for a reason. Keep it cool, okay? Anyways, let's just watch the video.
I saw a video recently. A video with fallacies in logic, a video of outright lies, a video full of generalizations, and a video packed with hyperbolic statements. I wish to speak to you today about that video.
Jesus, he's making it seem like I was spreading political propaganda. Right off the bat, you can definitely tell he already took my video far too seriously.
This video was merely a whiny, disingenuous attack on this community, trying to come across as some sort of PSA for children's safety on the internet.
PSA for children's safety on the internet? You gotta be kidding me, bro. It wasn't a PSA. It wasn't meant to be an attack. It wasn't even a serious video. And I acknowledge that it may have seemed like an attack, which I apologize for, but that really wasn't the intention here. Why would I make a public service announcement for children's safety if all of that stuff isn't even a prominent issue anymore? YouTube Kids exists now, and these types of pony videos literally never get recommended or made even anymore. This video was meant to be a funny, relatable video about my childhood and other people's childhoods. Like, wow, these weird bronies used to make such crazy stuff about My Little Pony, and when I was small, it was scary. That's essentially all I was trying to say, and this man really took it too close to heart.
Is it morally questionable for me, a 20-year-old man, to make a critical response video to a 14-year-old's unknowledgeable ramblings? Maybe, if that was just the case, but once you start to blame us for your mistakes, once you start to go against your own statements in the video, in comment responses, once you refuse to admit that your parents failed in protecting you, and once you make very key points into contradictions within 2 minutes, I think it's fair game at that point, no matter how old you are.
I'm not really gonna say anything about these claims right now because he's gonna elaborate on them further in the video, and I'll respond to them there, but I just wanted to show that he is a 20-year-old man. Also, this isn't the first time that someone has taken one of my silly videos far too seriously. Like, remember when I made that video about poppets and I was like, why are kids so obsessed with poppets? And everyone thought that I actually had something like seriously against poppets, even though why would I have something against poppets? Not all of my videos are critiques or attacks. Some of my videos I make because I think that it's just a fun topic to discuss. Like, I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, oh yeah, I remember watching those weirdly inappropriate pony videos. That was kind of weird. Maybe I should talk about it. Obviously, I have to play up the drama in my videos to make them entertaining, and sometimes I might go too far, which I admit I did here with a lot of the language I used. But just as a PSA, commentary YouTubers genuinely don't care about most of the things they talk about. Like, Anna Oop doesn't stay awake at night thinking about Charlie D'Amelio drama. Most commentary YouTubers think these subjects are just interesting to discuss, which is exactly what I thought while making this video. Recently, I saw a TikTok on my For You page that inspired me to make this whole video. Here it is.
Honestly, My Little Pony is a prime example of why grown men shouldn't be in safe spaces for young females, especially with all the gore and porn we were exposed to at such a young age.
Like, this community, this fandom began as a safe space for grown dudes to sit down and talk about the show. We didn't invade a pre-existing community. We started this bitch, man. We didn't invade a pre-existing fandom for our own needs. Come on.
True, you didn't invade a community, but who said it was a community? Who said it was a fandom? Bronies are definitely a community, but a safe space isn't a community. A community can be your safe space, but a safe space can be a lot of things. The target demographic for My Little Pony was little girls, so a lot of little girls grew up watching this show. And to millions of little girls, this show became a safe space for them. Also, you say we started this? Bro, literally the whole reason My Little Pony exists is to sell toys to little children. You didn't start anything. I'm not saying that just because the demographic is little girls that no one else can enjoy it. No, you can enjoy whatever you want. The point that I'm assuming this girl meant to say was that a lot of this gory and sexual content made around My Little Pony made this show no longer a safe space for these girls. Because I do think the brony community definitely took it too far in many aspects. Sure, you will be able to find gore and sexual content in any fandom, but I definitely saw it was exceptionally worse when it came to My Little Pony. And if you're going to deny that, you have been looking at this fandom through rose-colored glasses. I understand that the brony community is probably a safe space for you, and that's why you feel the need to attack a little teenage girl over it, but you have to accept that at its peak, the brony community produced far more gore and prong than almost any other fandom I've witnessed. And the reason why it's shocking is because it's My Little Pony, a show aimed at 7-year-old girls. Yet this type of content was incredibly popular, so it was very easy to find. And that was basically my point of the video. I wasn't outright trying to state that everyone in the brony community was collectively evil and that everyone should stop making adult content surrounding ponies in general, because I can't tell people what to do. I was just simply trying to point out how absurd it was that there was just so much of this adult content, and that adult men took an interest in ponies, and due to this interest they essentially popularized this adult content, which in turn ended up causing an entire generation of children to view it and grow up on it.
The comments are trash, too. Worm74 says here, the way grown men were excited to show little girls gore. Which, no. Just no. None of that was meant for you. None of which have any malicious intent. We aren't excited to show you gore.
Are bronies like a hive mind or something? Do you guys know all of each other's thoughts and intentions? If not, how do you know? Are you the spokesman for all bronies ever? I understand you're trying to defend your community, but you don't know every single brony. No one's attacking or critiquing you and your friends. All of the criticism to the brony community goes out to the community. Fine, maybe you've never had any pedophilic thoughts or intentions, but it's a flat out lie to say that no one in the brony community isn't a pedophile. That is simply a lie. I'm not saying that everyone or the majority even of the community are pedophiles, but there is definitely a percentage. I know this because of all of the sexual content surrounding MLP that I have involuntarily been exposed to. For starters, it's weird to sexualize the main characters themselves because 1, they're literal horses, and 2, their ages have never been explicitly mentioned, and when they turn into humans, they're high school students, so it's kind of bordering on pedophilia in itself. But what is definitely jail-worthy is the insane amounts of adult content surrounding the Cutie Mark Crusaders. And the Cutie Mark Crusaders are the little siblings of the ponies. And you cannot tell me that people who are attracted to this aren't pedophiles.
Genuinely just conspiracy theory peddling garbage. You can't convince me that it wasn't an act of trying to groom an entire generation. To put your username to good use, my friend, you are capping. We're not supervillains. Jesus Christ. Do you know what we do when we find out about stuff like this? We exile them. We bankrupt them. We ruin their reputation as we should.
I agree that it wasn't actually an act of trying to groom a whole generation. That's an outrageous claim to make. And the only reason I included those comments was to show the general opinion of these people who felt like they were harmed by bronies. But if you agree that singling out a community or assuming something about a whole community is wrong, then why do you actively speak on behalf of your community throughout the whole video? Technically, you're also assuming things about your community. You are assuming that no one in your community has any bad intentions and that it is a loving and welcoming environment, and that may have been the case for you, but it's very obvious that not everyone had the same experience you did. That's why the community still gets a lot of hate till this day. It doesn't have the best reputation for a reason. Bronies weren't just a group of guys who were harmlessly watching a cartoon for kids. I mean, at least not all of them. The fandom of bronies was actually incredibly harmful.
This community has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to various charities all over the world in the past, how long has it been, decade of existing? When one of our own, a young man by the name of, I believe it was Michael, took his own life, or tried to take his own life, because he was bullied at his local school for having a pony backpack. We did what we could. I believe we helped pay for his medical bills. I can't find a source on that, but I remember that being a huge talking point for us back in the day.
I definitely should have mentioned and talked about the good parts of the brony community. I should have also talked about the fact that I actually watched some harmless brony content while growing up, and that there are good bronies out there. But I just carried the whole video with a lot of negativity towards the community, which was part of the reason as to why everyone took it as an attack. That being said, if I were to redo my video, this is how I would say it. Although there were many good acts done by the brony community, such as raising charity and helping a boy who attempted to commit suicide, not all of the brony community is like that. A large part of the brony community was actually quite harmful. Because it's true, no matter how great one side of a community is, it doesn't change the harmful acts of another part of the community. I can donate millions to charity, but I can also stab someone. My donations don't take away from the fact that I did something harmful. There's always two sides of a coin. My mistake was only focusing on one side of it, and you're repeating that very same mistake by only focusing on the other side of it.
But to generalize this much right off the bat, with no evidence other than, oh, boo-hoo, Pinkie Pie decapitation, come the fuck on.
You watched my video. I literally had a whole other section dedicated to the over-sexualization of My Little Pony, but you just chose to gloss over that. I wonder why. Also, stop acting like ponies being decapitated isn't a good reason for why the community can be harmful, because that type of gore being so popularized can definitely be harmful. What this guy really likes to do is make the gore seem like it's not a big deal, when to a child, witnessing something like that can very well be a big deal to them. Grown men who had to corrupt, sexualize, and ruin My Little Pony for us.
Corrupt, sexualize, and destroy MLP for us. You say that like it was an intention. It's a shame you came across things that made you feel such a way at a young age, but unfortunately, that's just how the internet is.
Yeah, the internet can be like that. I grew up on the internet, I know. But I wasn't only a pony fan. I liked Minecraft, Steven Universe, various anime, Undertale, and literally Five Nights at Freddy's. All of those communities were known to be toxic, and they all had bad reputations. But the worst fandom I've ever witnessed, the fandom which I saw the most gore and the most sexual content in, was My Little Pony. And out of all of those communities, My Little Pony had the youngest target demographic. That's why I thought I should talk about it, and I hope we can relive our traumas together.
Trauma! You don't know what the fuck trauma is! Take it from someone who actually has childhood trauma from abuse and sexual abuse and all sorts of fucking abuse from his own fucking father. Take it from someone who has trauma. That shit sticks with you. You think about it every single night before you go to bed. You wake up and the first thing you think about is your trauma. You cannot live a normal life. You did not get fucking traumatized from an animation on YouTube.com when you were 7. That is not how trauma works.
I hit a nerve there. Jesus Christ.
When you have trauma, no matter how serious or mild, you never want to relive that shit. If you were genuinely traumatized, you wouldn't want to relive it. You wouldn't be making this video because you couldn't be able to stomach watching those videos again. You're not traumatized. You had a childhood fear.
I can't even begin to express just how stupid this point is. I genuinely think he just nitpicked on this. He wanted to make his anger towards me seem more justifiable, so he decided to go with the, how dare you say you were traumatized? I was traumatized! So you are being insensitive and I'm allowed to swear at you even though I'm a grown man. Obviously, this stuff didn't traumatize me. As he said, if it actually did, I wouldn't be making a video about it. You do realize it's a common saying, right? People use the word traumatized very commonly as a synonym to the words disturbed or scared. It's a common thing used by YouTubers especially, because YouTubers like to over-exaggerate or over-dramatize quite often. And traumatized provides a deeper impact than the word scared. People like to say they're depressed when they're really just sad. People like to say they want to kill themselves when they experience an inconvenience. We like to dramatize our words. You really wouldn't have an issue with literally anyone else saying that they're traumatized. The only reason you're pretending to have an issue with it is because you feel like I'm attacking your community.
And to be completely honest and totally transparent, I'm not innocent of this scenario either. I made a video, if I had to remember correctly, 2 months ago, where I watched videos that traumatized me as a child.
There, he literally admitted it. He did the exact same thing just a few months back. Before I start discussing and reacting to the very traumatized stuff that a lot of bronies produce, I'd first like to mention that I'm in no way trying to generalize bronies. I know for a fact that there is a light and dark side to every fandom. So if you're a grown man who happens to harmlessly like My Little Pony, I have nothing against you. I honestly couldn't care less.
If that was the case, you would have made more effort. You would have You wouldn't have titled this video in such a way.
Again, sir, do you not know how YouTube works? No wonder you have such little subscribers. Titles matter in determining if people click on my videos or not. The whole reason you clicked on this video was because the title intrigued you. Alright, let's play a game where I name my videos accurately, and we'll see if they're better. Some bronies kinda scared me as a kid. Encanto's fandom does some weird things sometimes. People really care about Hannah OO starting an OnlyFans for some reason. These accurate titles don't sound as eye-catching, at least not to me.
Oh, hold on. You want to talk about harmful, traumatizing content? You want it to be an end goal of protecting the youth? Then why the fuck did you show it?
So earlier on in the video, you criticized me for not showing any proof about how bronies are harmful, and now that I'm showing proof, you're criticizing me again. Okay, I understand, guys. I think he's just jealous of my pony collection. It's much bigger than anything he can afford. I don't even like ponies anymore. If you want to see it, the tour is on my Patreon, link in bio. But anyways, I already said what the intention of my video was. And it wasn't the end goal of protecting the youth. Where did you pull that out from? Your ass? You said I made bronies sound like supervillains. You're making me sound like a superhero, like I'm on a mission or something. My end goal is protecting the youth. Superhero Zezri on the way.
Why did you go back, download the video, edit it, and publish it? This isn't the only instance of this. You outright show a full clip of a much more intense, audible, and visual example later in this fucking video. Your editing choices are not lining up with your supposed intention.
My supposed intention that you assumed that was wrong. Also, the clips I included weren't even that bad. I'm telling you, he's just nitpicking stuff. So I had to be like 4 to 6 years old at the time. So I was essentially a toddler who was still learning how to read. I just want you guys to keep that in mind moving forward.
You shouldn't have been unmonitored on YouTube. You shouldn't have been on YouTube or the internet at all. Call me a boomer, but at this point, the accountability isn't placed on us for making stuff like this. The blame is entirely on your parents. They should have done more for you, in protecting you, and they fucking failed you.
I never said that I was in support of kids as young as 4 being on the internet. I mean, I know from experience that that's not a good idea, and my parents definitely shouldn't have let me be on the internet. And after I posted that video, my mom actually came up to me and apologized to me. But don't outright sit there and claim that my parents failed me just because while they were working to provide for me, I happened to stumble across inappropriate content. My parents had me quite young, and I remember them browsing through my YouTube and search histories to check if I'm watching anything inappropriate. But as I stated in the video, these inappropriate pony videos have very innocent titles and thumbnails. And my parents weren't going to sit there and watch through millions of hours of pony content just in the off chance that I might have stumbled across something inappropriate. They definitely shouldn't have let me be on YouTube in the first place, but they didn't fail me. Also, you're acting like I was the only child on YouTube, like I was going against the status quo. No matter how wrong you think it is a fact that there are millions of little kids on the internet. And even back then, everyone knew it because there was content aimed at children literally everywhere. My problem was that adult pony content was so hard to distinguish from normal pony content aimed at kids. Even YouTube's algorithm couldn't separate it because it got recommended to children so often. I see pony thumbnails, I see pony title, I click expecting to see pony video. If I saw a scary bloody pony in the thumbnail, I wouldn't click on it. If I saw a video titled Pinkie Pie Kills Rainbow Dash, I wouldn't click on it. But the videos weren't like that. They had names like Smile or Cupcakes or Party.mov or Magic.mov, and the thumbnails looked innocent, so I clicked on it. It was my first time being faced with gore, and yes, there was a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, but I was like a little 4 or 5-year-old Kazakh girl. Do you think I could read the disclaimers? No.
You disingenuous, dense motherfucker! Obviously you have to read warnings before you watch something really fucking ridiculous, or you couldn't blame the fandom!
You missed the part where I literally said that I am Kazakh, meaning I grew up speaking both Russian and English, and it's a lot harder to master one language when you know 2, especially when you're 6. And I knew how to read, but kids have a lower level of reading than adults. I didn't even know what the word disclaimer even meant. I didn't even know what a disclaimer was. You can go up to literally any 6-year-old, and chances are they won't care for disclaimers either. I'll prove it to you actually. My little sister is 7 years old, and I'm gonna show her a video and put a disclaimer at the start, and we'll see if she reads it or not. Did you read the text at the beginning of the video?
Nope, I just watched it.
Why did you not read the text? Why did you not read the text? Can you read it out loud?
This video
Can you read the first word?
disclaimer.
Do you know what it means?
No.
No, I'll explain to you later. Can you read the rest now?
This video contains inappropriate
Don't worry about getting it wrong.
not suitable for anyone under the age of 18. You have been warned.
What do you think this means?
I don't understand.
You don't understand what this means? Basically, this means that this video isn't allowed for anyone under the age of 18 years old to watch. And the disclaimer is like a warning that you shouldn't watch this video. But you didn't know what it was. Is that enough proof for you? Do you understand how children work now?
You can't consciously ignore a very clear, obvious warning, and then years later blame the fandom or its creator for what you witnessed. You lost that privilege when you continued watching.
I like how he says consciously ignore, as if I, as a 6-year-old girl, sat there and read the disclaimer, understood it, and continued to watch it anyways. You're holding little kids to a very high standard. It doesn't matter what I even did as a 6-year-old. You cannot hold kids responsible for anything in general. Disclaimers aren't things that children are always aware of, and I literally stated in the video that it was my first time experiencing gore. So how would I know what a disclaimer was if it was my first time experiencing a video like that? Also, literally only that video had a disclaimer in it. Hot Diggity Dogs series didn't have disclaimers. DRY's accurately animated sexual content didn't have disclaimers, and hundreds of more videos didn't have any disclaimers. You're saying I was blaming bronies, but now you're blaming a literal 6-year-old child instead of admitting that this type of content is wrong. You would rather criticize the actions of a 6-year-old girl than admitting your fandom can do bad things sometimes. Most of these YouTube animators wouldn't even bother adding any type of disclaimer. Like, you're animating children's cartoon rainbow ponies. If you're gonna make them kill each other, please make it clear to the audience that this animation about cartoon horses for kids isn't actually made for kids.
They did! They fucking did! They put every ounce of effort into giving you a full-blown visual disclaimer. You disingenuous, dense motherfucker, you chose to ignore them. Later, you come crawling back and blaming us for your bullshittery, your piss shittery, and your fuck shittery.
Aight, bro, you need to calm down. You're forgetting that you're talking to a teenager. To a teenager who you don't know, who has a family, who has friends, who has a life, something you probably don't have. Also, stop saying 6-year-old me ignored a disclaimer when she didn't even know what a disclaimer was. That's very obviously not the same thing. And every ounce of effort? Sorry, but putting a 2-second long piece of text at the start of a video isn't putting in every ounce of effort. I'm not saying disclaimers are useless. They are useful when it comes to content that is consumed by an older demographic, because not everyone wants to see violence. But when toddlers are watching ponies and you make an animation where those very same ponies are killing each other, maybe don't expect a dumbass small child to sit there and fully take in and understand the disclaimer. Kids don't operate like that. They have small attention spans and they're dumb, so they like colorful things like ponies. So if you animate those ponies doing inappropriate things, maybe add an audio disclaimer for the very least, which I've seen people do before, like, this video isn't meant for kids. If you are a kid, click off the video now. You have been warned. That would have been putting in a tiny bit more effort and not having a disclaimer at all, or just having a small piece of text that children will obviously not understand.
How can someone be so fucking moronic? Making a point 2 minutes ago and admitting you ignored every disclaimer, and then do a fucking 360 Tony Hawk kickflip backward, and then say put a disclaimer. You're a fucking moron. I was going to be careful for this video. This script I'm reading right now, I tried to edit it to be less insulting to you personally, but at this point I don't give a shit. You have directly given, I don't give a shit about your age. You're a fucking moron.
Let's go 360 Tony Hawk kickflip backwards. He's really trying to act like calling me, a 14-year-old girl, a
fucking moron,
is justified because I said kids are too dumb to read disclaimers. And they say women are the emotional ones. Jesus Christ. He's acting like I insulted his religion or something. This deep amount of hatred, it isn't okay. Where does it come coming from, man? Like, I can't imagine being so overly sensitive. I don't know whether I should laugh my ass off or just find it really sad. Look how hurt I made him. My little silly video inflicted so much pain on this man. Or at the time, and for some reason, on YouTube, ponies reproducing was a common sight. Like, a very common sight. You didn't even have to look for it. It would just appear in your face randomly.
No, it wasn't. It never fucking has been. Let's see, I was 11 in 2012, the first half of it anyway. Puberty was just starting to hit. Do you know how many incredibly specific search terms I had to use to find anything even remotely explicit on YouTube back then? Do you know how many fucking loopholes I had to jump through to find Fluttershy's butthole on this fucking site? Do you have any idea what you're talking about? Saying it was just on the homepage, easy to find. No, it fucking wasn't. Take it from someone who knew more about technology than you did at that time. It was not easy to find. You are actively lying in this fucking video.
This man just admitted to being a degenerate. We caught him. You can't speak for me. I wasn't lying. I never lie in any of my videos unless it's like a dumb joke or something, but I was sharing the complete 100% honest truth. I literally even gave an example of this content that he just ignored. DRY's whole channel, just look through their videos and you'll see the sexual content right there, and it's still up. And I didn't mention it in the video because I honestly never wanted to talk about this to anyone. I just wanted to bury it in my mind and forget about it. But it has come to this. I remember there was this pony prawn game, and pony prawn games were just being walkthroughed a lot on YouTube. But I remember seeing walkthroughs of them, and mostly they were censored. I mean, you could still see a lot of stuff. But I remember this one game in particular where there was a red horse who went around and had intercourse with every single pony he could find. And I stumbled across it on YouTube. So it was recommended to me along with a plethora of similar content. So I am not lying.
In conclusion, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, I know you're 14. I know teenagers are still learning and are in every way dumb as fucking rocks.
You literally have no concept of maturity levels because you yourself have proven to have the maturity of a little stunted child who gets insulted and defensive when a little girl makes a video about ponies. You criticize 6-year-old me for not understanding a disclaimer, so don't sit here and claim you understand how children act.
You have the platform that you have now. You're not cut out for it. For God's sake, you've made videos before and after this covering Borat. Watching fucking Borat.
I'm not cut out for YouTube. Why? Because I said that bronies can be bad sometimes. You say I have no proof for my claims, yet you're throwing around claims like this. Obviously, this guy has never watched any one of my videos, except this one, and you can tell that because he can't even pronounce my name correctly.
Zezray.
And he uses the fact that I covered Borat to try and prove that I'm not deserving of a platform, which is like the dumbest claim ever. You're ignoring my videos that I've made spreading awareness about eating disorders and serious politics. I recently posted a video clearing up media manipulation about my country, and my country is Kazakhstan, which is why I, as a Kazakh person, talked about Borat. Because Borat is based on my nationality. And the video where I reacted to Borat was a fun video I specially made for my fans, for my 100,000 subscriber special, because they asked me to react to Borat. And if you actually watched my videos to determine whether or not I was worthy of a platform, you would have known that. But of course you didn't watch any of my videos. You were just upset that I insulted your fandom, so you cried about it for 15 minutes straight and ended your moaning by saying, I'm not cut out for YouTube. Also, I could say the same things about your videos, like what even is this? What is that? What even are they? Statistically speaking, I am definitely cut out for YouTube. I uploaded my first video in February last year, and it hasn't even been a full year, and I already have almost 130,000 subscribers. And generally, I get comments every day from people my age saying that they look up to me because I am a young girl who isn't afraid to speak up on my opinions, and people like me because of that, and they relate to me because I'm the same age as them, but I'm not afraid to speak up.
As I make this fucking video, you're responding to comments taking down every point you've made in a far more mature manner than I have. And you act like what you truly are, a child who knows nothing.
Who's the child who knows nothing?
You disingenuous, dense motherfucker.
Who's the child who knows nothing again? These comments he brought up, let's read them. I told that person to grow up because I was pointing out how stupid their argument was. They were telling me to grow up because the internet wasn't made for little kids. I was trying to show them that that's a dumb argument by responding in a similar way. My point was that kids will still be on the internet even if it wasn't made for them. Just like how bronies will watch My Little Pony even though My Little Pony wasn't made for them. Okay, I literally don't see anything wrong in that response. Can you please elaborate on that? He's trying to make me seem like an immature little girl when this whole video was the best example of a little man baby crying about the most irrelevant nonsense for 15 minutes straight. It's crazy that this was uploaded during a time of crisis in my country where I was worried about terrorism and political instability, and he was making a video crying because I said I was too dumb to read a disclaimer when I was 6 years old. Luckily, I know my worth and I don't get discouraged by people telling me to give up or whatever. I'll tell you a story. When I was 13, I animated a Cocomelon intro for PewDiePie, and back then PewDiePie would choose intros and put it in his videos, and I am and was a big fan of PewDiePie, so I animated one and posted it on his subreddit in hopes of him using it. Here it is. Someone saw it and told me that it was ugly and that it sucked and that PewDiePie would never use it and never see it. And they were right. PewDiePie never used it. But then I made a new one. And guess what happened with the new one? PewDiePie used it not once, but twice. So don't be discouraged, especially not from people who literally have not been able to accomplish anything.
You're a disgrace to commentary channels as a whole.
And don't let hate get to you, because we can all see the types of sad people who spread hate. This was an amazing example of that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this like really long video. Thank you for the 100k silver play button, and I'll see you next time. Bye!